Okay, so last week you had given me Arlington Road, which came out in 1999. And when we watched the trailer last week, you had told me, I want you to keep in mind that this came out in 1999. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm thinking Y2K. What is this about? I
Hmm.
don't know. I guess maybe because it's, about to turn 2000.
Right.
And we watched the trailer. And in the trailer, it basically gives it away that this guy who teaches at a college about terrorists attacks and to learn from them.
Hmm.
And he basically lives next door to a terrorist that basically blows up buildings. And this was in 1999. And we get done watching the trailer. And I'm like, oh my God, this came out 2 years before 9/11. I was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be intense to watch. So I, I got it and I was watching it. And first of all, the opening scene, you see this kid
Yeah.
just walking down the middle of this suburban neighborhood street, and you're like, what's wrong with him? He looks like he's like heat stroke or something. And then it pans out, and you see that his arm, his like, is all bloody, and there's just like a nub at the end, and you're like, what the fuck just happened to this kid? And the guy that teaches terrorist attacks like stops and takes him to the hospital, and then his parents show up and they're like, oh, he was playing with firecrackers. I didn't believe that. As soon as they said it, I was like,
Jeff
I don't
Bridges
know if I
saves the
believe
kid.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, I don't believe that. So then he's like, these people have lived next door this whole time. I didn't even know their son's name. So then they start becoming friends and start hanging out and stuff because they both have kids the same age, like
Hmm.
9 and 10. And like I know where it's going because of the trailer to give it away. It's very 90s trailer and everything. But as you're watching it, I found it very very interesting in how he slowly discovers that this guy is not who he says he
It's like a
is.
scavenger hunt for the guy who
It
teaches
is.
the class about being
Yes.
aware of your surroundings because it could be
Yes.
anybody. That okay, continue.
Yes, and these are like completely normal people. This is like they like his wife is wearing this like cardigan, and like they look like the perfect suburban family. And but there's just something off about him. And when he discovers that he changed his name because he had made a bomb when he was 16 to blow up a building that didn't happen, and spent some time in jail, and he changed his name. And then he comes and the neighbor who's the terrorist comes and confronts him, and he gives this such powerful speech. You almost believe it. You're like, I
About
changed
his
my name.
father and the insurance and
Yes,
everything like that.
yes. He's
Yeah.
like, this is what happened to me. And I did this one thing when I was 16. Everybody does stupid stuff when they're 16. I wanted to get rid of it. Like, I wanted to move past it so my kids don't have to deal with it. And I took my friend's name that died to honor him. And you're like, God, like, you almost believe him. But then the movie would be over and there's no point to the movie then. But you don't, but you it's not something's not right. And so like this guy that teaches this terrorist attack has lost his wife who was in the FBI to supposed
Red
messed up
flags.
yes, red flags, messed up FBI situation. And then he's dating someone who like just randomly gets in an accident and dies because she was stumbling on the truth as well. And then his son gets kidnapped, and he's just trying to save his son. And they trick you with the way that they do the camera and everything. And you think that he's about to save his son and about to stop this terrorist attack and stop this bomb from going off at the FBI headquarters. And they open the van, and he's like, "There's nothing here." And then he realizes they put it in his car. He delivered the bomb to the FBI agency that he was trying to stop the whole time. And it legit goes off. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those movies where the bad guy wins. I'm like, holy shit.
And right after that,
And
you
then you see
see
all the news.
the
Yes,
pieces coming together and
all
everything.
the news stories that they put out, and like people believe it. And it's like, oh my God, this guy that did this. And then at the end they show them, him and his wife, the terrorist, actually like talking about, oh well, they'll tell us where we need to go next, and just hope it's a safe neighborhood. And just this creepy Stepford family, and
Yeah,
it wasn't just these
but
terrorists, it was an entire group that's been doing this and then pinning it on other people, and it
But the
was
way
so
they pinned it on the other
intense.
people is you won't look anywhere else. They're talking about the Oklahoma City
Exactly.
bomber where the mother was like, I don't believe he would actually do that. There were
Hmm.
kids in the daycare and he would never hurt kids.
Yeah.
And that's when you hear that, you're like, okay, but he did. And then at the end of the movie, when all the pieces start coming together, it's like they interview the one girl that's working with the terrorist organization that was in his class.
Yes.
And she's like, one day I'm going to get those guys, get those people and watch them burn because he had a vendetta, he had a motive, and the motive was
He
that
did.
the FBI gave the false information. He taught a class, he knew how to circumvent all the things. Everything just fucking went clink, and all the
Yes.
pieces fit together. That's why
And
it's one of my favorite movies because you see it, you're like,
yes.
oh shit, and then it comes and you're like,
It's not
wow.
it's not just the fact that he found out and then they pinned it on him. It was the fact that they literally picked him from the beginning. Like that family moved in there and he was already a target before they even met him. It was very, very good movie. I very much enjoy it. I would highly recommend it. It's amazing. Um, good job. Good
Yes. I
job.
told you, that's one of my favorites just because
So
you see the end, you think the end, you see it happen,
yeah,
you're oh shit, and then you have another oh shit moment on top of it. And that's what I
yeah.
love. You're like, oh my God. And that's what just resonates with me.
Yeah, so they just commented it's like the show The Americans, and I haven't seen that. I've
Nor have
wanted
I.
to watch it. I've heard good things about it, and if I mean, you should watch it if it's this is one of your favorite movies. Apparently, you need to watch The Americans.
Okay, it all depends. I'm not a fan of getting into shows that have like 80 fucking episodes. I hate catching up like that. I'd rather have the series end and then I start it because I know I'm catching up and not just,
Yeah.
always behind. So if the
No, I think The Americans is over. I think they're already finished.
then I might have something on my plate for my personal use on there.
There you go.
All right.
All right, so yeah, my ranking is from 1 to 10, and I would give this an 8.5.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed it. I'd almost give it a 9. It's really on the edge of being out there. It was a very good movie, well acted. It was twisty, very twisty, and every time I say that, I think of Pikachu. It's twisty. Is it twisty? Yes, it's twisty. It's good. Very enjoyed it.
Very enjoyed it.
Very much enjoyed it. Shut up.
All right, so switching roles here. It's my
Yep.
turn to review. And first off, I want to say, Argo, fuck yourself. I
I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, so you're gonna have to.
I hadn't seen it. I've caught pieces through and through. I remember talking about our parents both really liking the movie because they basically told each other to Argo fuck themselves quite a bit. Dad used that for a couple months when he was just in regular conversation. He'd just Argo fuck yourself. The cast is amazing on there. I do like the two screenwriters in Los Angeles that were having to wait by the phone the entire time. But from beginning to end, basically, it's the what is the year that the terrorist organization with Jimmy Carter they stormed, it wasn't terrorists, they stormed the embassy because of shit going down over there and basically an uprising within the city itself, and they took all the hostage, but six people I believe slipped out the back, and they were staying at the Canadians their own place, like
Embassy.
the Canadians consulate embassy. Yeah, they weren't staying at the embassy. They were staying at the embassy's the dude who runs the embassy's house.
Okay.
So because they were staying there, they stayed there for. I mean, everyone thought this would be over quick, but it ended up being a long drawn out thing because of the overthrow within the government. There was no way to get them out, and I like the behind the scenes of the government saying, "Here's all of our ideas," and then Ben Affleck just going pow 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 and just shooting them all down. Like, you want to ride bicycles 300 miles in the winter? You're fucking stupid. Well, what about agriculture? I just said it's the fucking winter. There's no teachers there in the winter for agriculture. So I liked how he shut it down. I like the behind the scenes thing. I like the I don't like the concept of them turning to a movie, but I like how he went ahead and started getting everything in motion and then presented it to him, and then they were like, no, and he went above their head and was like, fuck you, you don't have a better option. So he went ahead and went above them, goes over there and basically has all the identities. He drills them hard, and I really like how it felt like a CIA agent drilling them. You have 40 or 24 hours to get your shit down. If you don't get your shit down, you're not just killing yourself, you're killing everybody else. I didn't like how one guy was just like, "Man, I can't do it. We're just gonna hang out here. I mean, that's the best. We can't. If we go out there, we're gonna die." And then everyone was like, "Dude, if we stay here, we're gonna die." And he's like, "I don't want to end." I'm like, "What the fuck is your other plan, bro? I mean,
Yeah.
you're boned either way. There's no other plan you have in this." I liked how there was that little pushback. I want to find out if that was actually something that really occurred though, or just something for this story to have a little more
Right.
umph to it. I think by as long as they were there and they knew shit was going down, I think they knew that they were already on borrowed time, and everyone would have been like, "Fuck it, let's go."
Yeah.
Obviously, them doing a kind of they had to do a walkthrough and a shoot. It was just for them to get extra pictures of them on the side. Almost a confrontation in the the market area. And they scurried on away, and they knew that we got to do this shit. They got it called off and was told that it's going to be an operation. They're going to come in and try to rescue him, but that would have been kind of a bloodbath, especially with
Yeah.
the kind of ammo and weaponry they actually had there.
Yeah.
I thought it went well. I did like the intensity going through the airport stuff. I really liked, and besides Ben Affleck being the centerpiece, Bryan Cranston was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved him in that. I mean, obviously you love him from Breaking Bad, but in this movie he was great. Where he went off on like the director of the CIA. He's like, "Do your fucking job." I mean, he went fucking off on him, and I was like, get him. And it wasn't just an acting get him. It was like you could see fucking veins coming out of his face.
Yep.
And he was like, get the whoever the defense Secretary of Defense out of his meeting, and he was like, "Where do his kids go to school?" Second thing, right off the bat, and they were like, "He's not taking calls." All right, cool. Where do his kids go to school? And that's kind of a 1-2 with the CIA. It's basically you're going to get to you one way or the other on this. We're
Yep.
going to make it happen. So I really like that. The whole scene with them leaving, I like the little cars right behind the plane chasing them down. I figured they would have shot at the plane to kind of fuck it up. But as soon as they said, "We're in the clear, we can now serve alcoholic beverages," it was just like that wash of emotion. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh fuck. That's why I watched it in the middle of the night, and I didn't want to lose that emotion that I have. So I sent you that audio recording, like
Yeah.
telling you how breath of fresh air. Even though you know the story, at least from the outside public perspective, it was nice to be able to see them kind of unclassify the information. And he couldn't get any awards on it. He was had to. They told him, "We're going to get an award, but we're going to take it right back. You're getting the highest medal we can give the CIA agent." Blah blah blah. And it took 30, 40 years for them to actually release the information through and through.
Yep.
I liked his Star Wars characters and Star Wars references because I'm a fucking nerd. But they had he kept one of the actual slides of the movie up there with his stuff, and I'd really like to know if that was also something thrown in, or did he give it to his kid? Because there's a lot of little things that this is based on a true story, but you don't know how much you could actually believe of Hollywood stuff.
Oh yeah. Based on a true story, it could be 10%. It could be 80%.
I had a joy with this movie. I was engaged with it through and through. I liked the style because I think they hit the decade of dress and tension that was there
it looked amazing.
very well. The third world as well as over here in America. It just felt good. I like the real broadcasts that they did. You saw Tom Brokaw in the background of one of them, and he looked young as shit. So I mean, it was a well done movie, and I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a rating, and since I'm a grade school rating person, I would say I'd give it a C plus. A C plus to a B minus.
Okay.
Probably, I'd say a B minus. If I watch it right now, I'd end the movie and say B minus. If I'm a week later, it's a C plus. So it all depends on how fresh that is on me. But the emotions, it kept you engaged. Enjoyed it.
Good. So both of us give it a thumbs up. Both of us give it a green out of like our scale and everything. So we're doing pretty well. That's a 3 out of 4 movies that we both gave a green, and we both gave a yellow to the other one. Like, yeah, you should watch it. It's not my favorite, but I understand it. Like, so we're doing pretty good. I'm very proud of us.